All right. So this is the study you emailed me about, um, kind of requesting a little bit of assistance on. So I want to go over this with you. I know Stefan already kind of did a few things on this study with you. So actually looked like sleep onset was perfect. And then we just carry on. To stage one. I'll just get right into it here. This all looks correct. These look like little K complexes, actually. I would call this two. Oh no, K complexes. Looks like maybe their K complexes look like this. So I'll go back and call this one spindle here, though. One, one, and then a K complex for two. Wake, 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 wake. One, two. These are those spike waves, I think, that we were seeing. This is a real K complex here. I'd keep this in one, and then two, and then one. Spindle for two, two, wake, and then a little arousal here. And actually, this is an arousal here. Looks like it's long enough. 4 seconds. And if this is 10 seconds, 9 seconds, so we can't mark this one. We'll keep this, we'll change this to 1. And then, looks like that's not 10 seconds either from there to there, so we can't mark this arousal. Just good 1, good 2, 2, good arousal, keeping it in stage 2 good. 1, I think that's an arousal there. 1 to the higher frequency. It might not be actually, now that I'm looking at it a little closer. If there's anything, it's from there to there. Well, that's 3 seconds. 2.5 seconds. We'll just leave it. Not quite 2 yet. Spindle here. 1, 2. And then I think this arousal starts there, which that is 11 seconds, so you can mark that. And this will be wake rather than N1. So I included all of this in the arousal. Wake, wake. And the only sleep I see in this here is right in here, just about 3 seconds. So I change this to wake. This arousal goes all the way to there, probably. Wake, 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 wake. And then you mark this is stage 1, so I think we'll go ahead and switch this up and call it wake. Nothing really changed from this epic to this epic as far as frequency goes, so keep that in wake. Oops, not REM. Okay, and then it looks like a lot of wake here. This is all correct. And you thought you were having issues. This is all correct. And that back here, just a little bit of artifact, I think. Probably some eye twitches or something. do not think that this is one. Nothing really changed. There's still alpha throughout this entire epic. If you back up one, compare it to that one, wake, 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 wake. Nothing changed there. So we'll keep that. Change that to wake. Patient having issues with noise. Okay. Okay, so you marked this as N1 and then that as an arousal. I don't think really there's any sleep. Maybe it's like trying to go to sleep right here, but that's about all I see. Just this tiny little section. The rest is all alpha. So change this to wake. Wake. Okay, in this I see a lot of stage one compared to here and here. So just take a look at the difference in frequency as far as how fast and tight it is versus how it starts slowing down right around here. You see all this going up and down, up and down, up and down, and then it just starts slowing down a little bit, up and down. Not quite as fast until about here where it's fast again. That's an arousal. We'll call this 1 with an arousal here. And then another arousal here for 1. And then the only sleep is right in here for this epic. The rest is all wake. So we'll keep that as wake. 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 Okay. It looks like you got that dialed in there, stage 1. So good job there. And I'd probably change this one to wake. The only sleep that I see is about 4 seconds there and about 4.5 seconds there. So you have this chunk of alpha in the middle and then another chunk of alpha towards the end. So we'll change this to wake. And then back to 1 starting around here. Maybe here. So 1. Little arousal going on here. And that is 13 seconds. So looks like all of that was all stage 1. The only stage 2 sleep in this epic is about 4 or 5 seconds. So we'll call this one stage 1. And then we got stage 1 again. And with the K complex here, we'll call the next one stage 2, which you actually did. So good job. And 1. Good arousal. And then you mark this one 2, I'm guessing, because of maybe this, but that doesn't go below baseline. So I think 2 starts here at this spindle. We'll call this one 1. And an arousal there. So, but then you have a spindle and a K complex, so we'll keep it in 2 like you did. So good job. And you thought that you did not do well. Yep, so stage 1, stage 2, and so you had this arousal and then you kept it in stage 2. I don't think that I would keep it in stage 2. No Ks, no spindles in this epic. Change it to 1, and then to 2, and to 2, 2, and then to 3, which you did. Good. 3, 3, 3, 3, 3. And then an arousal. Yeah, I think you had it. A little bit of sleep here and then another arousal there, but you can't mark it. Just keep in mind. And you called this wake. I think I'd call this still. Is this 6 seconds? Yep, 6 seconds of stage 3. You can call it 3 still. And then 1 with an arousal here. All of this is sleep. 16.5 seconds of 1. So we'll call this 1. We'll call this 1. We'll call this 2, which you have back on track. 2 with an arousal there. 1, good. 1. I think this arousal actually goes out to here. If you can see the high frequency lasting, even though it's low amplitude over here, still have the high frequency going on. So we'll change this to wake. Wake. A little arousal there. 1. 2. Wake. I think this is actually still wake. You still have a lot of high frequencies going on. If you compare the previous epic to this epic, there's not a whole lot of change going on there. Not sure what you were seeing in that one. And then the next one, it looks like there's a little bit of sleep maybe there, but overall I think this is still wake. The frequency is still pretty high. Now we've got some eye movements, so this is definitely awake with eyes open. Awake. And then back to 1 with a little arousal there. 1. K complex 2. A 3 second. I don't think that's an arousal unless it's from there to there. It's arguable. But then you'd have to mark this one, which is nearly the same. I don't know. I don't think that's an arousal. You just keep it in 1. And then 2. And here's, yeah, maybe these are little arousals here. I'll just go back and mark them. 1, 1, 1. Actually, yep, 1, 2, 2. Wake, good. I changed that to wake. Same here, this is wake. Wake. And then this is wake as well. Still high frequency going on throughout this whole epic. And then wake. And then down to stage 1, starting about there, so I'd still keep this one in wake. And then wake, so they must have woke up from that leg movement or something right around there. Wake, wake. Change this to wake as well. Wake, 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 wake. Wake, wake, wake. This is all good. Little bit of sleep going on in here and in here. Maybe a little bit in here as well. wake, wake, wake. Then you drop to N1 here. I agree. 1, but then this is wake up until there. You see this little bit of sleep going on. This is wake. This is wake. And then back to 1 here with an arousal at the end of that one. You can kind of see it get dark right there. And this one is probably an arousal there too, 3 seconds. So that's 10 seconds. And then back to 2, 2, 2, 2. An arousal, good, 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 and then to 2. All right, and a little K complex there, just barely going below baseline. One, I think this is 1. You hadn't missed an arousal right here, so changes that. And then the 1, which you have, back on track. Okay, so you have this big arousal here. I think this is all still wake. Wake. Same here, wake, all this. Wake, 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 wake. Definitely wake still. This is all that, fuzzy caterpillar type brain waves here. There's no mixed frequency in this at all. So this will be wake. This will be wake as well. Maybe a little bit of mixed frequency going on right here in this section, but that's about it. Maybe a tad bit in here, but not really. And then you called this 2, which is interesting. This is all still alpha. So I'm going to change this to wake. Wake, 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 wake. Yeah, I'm not sure what you were seeing to signify that this would be an arousal and the rest would be, I can see a change, but not a change in frequency, Just a change in amplitude on some weird channels, but this is still wake. This is still wake. Wake, wake, wake. I think every once in a while you get thrown off into stage 1 when it is actually still wake. Especially like in here, I don't know what you're looking at exactly, but this is all still high frequency. See these brain waves, how they go up and down really, really fast. Nothing's showing mixed frequency here. It's all very rhythmic. When it goes up, it goes down at the same distance from the last up and down. So it looks very clean, very out, like, I don't know how to explain alpha visually, but like hair standing up on the back of a cat, you just have, it's all, one hair to the next, it's the same distance. And so we'll keep this in wake, keep this in wake, all the same sort of alpha frequency. Same here, same here, same here. You even have eye movements, rapid eye movements going on, so definitely not sleep unless it's REM, which you still have high chin tone and alpha throughout, so it's not REM. wake, 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 wake. So you're just getting a little confused on what this person's stage one sleep looks like, but looks like throughout all this you got it all right, which is funny. It's very interesting because you marked epics like this stage one earlier, but now you're marking it wake. So there's no consistency in your errors versus your success in this study. I'm not sure. It looks like you maybe went back, and called that an arousal at some point in time. Yeah, this is all wake, 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 wake. Okay, so again, what you called wake over here in this part of the study, you've called stage one. So it's unclear to me how to resolve the issue other than to say that, this is all high frequency brain waves. Even though you have rolling eye movements up here, just because your eye movements stop and your chin tone goes down, it doesn't mean that it's stage one. The brain waves have to reflect mixed frequency and low amplitude throughout 15 seconds at least of the epic. So just keep that in mind. We'll call this wake. Here we go. Now we've got mixed frequency from there to there. That's 14 seconds. So if you can compare this little section right here, with this epic, you can see the mixed frequency. Like, see that instead of like a fuzzy over here where it's up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, you have the up, mini down, mini up, big down, kind of a small up, down. It's like, and that's like throughout all, like I could pick any line here, F4, we got big up, small, small, big, 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 small, small. It's like there's a difference in the frequency as it goes up and down versus here it's just one constant, like up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. Maybe not in this point 0.5 section right there in the O1, but compare, all the channels, look at all the channels and see it's all very consistent, fuzzy up until around here, where it starts breaking out a little bit. And that's where we see a little bit of stage one, all the way up until here, where it starts getting fast again and not very mixed frequency again. It's all very fuzzy and up and down and up and down. High frequency. So in this one, not quite enough sleep to mark stage one, but still enough to explain what I'm seeing anyways. So we'll keep this one in wake. And then same here, we've got a little bit of mixed frequency going on for 12 seconds, and then that's that. So we'll keep this in wake. And then this is obviously wake, wake, wake. And then again, I see this one we're going to change to wake. The only real sleep I see is right in there. That's the only mixed frequency going on. Not an arousal, mixed frequency. So like here, from here to here, that's all that alpha again. And then, yeah, that's just where I see it anyways. So we'll change this to wake. Wake again. Then wake again. Starts dropping off a little bit somewhere in here. little bit of mixed frequency, but it's still high frequency. Um, I think from there to there, I think is where you have a little bit of mixed frequency going on. So we'll change this to wake again. All of this is alpha. And then this would be 1 with an arousal here. So you got that mixed frequency going on again. So maybe it just continues from the last epoch. So if you look at this, beginning of this epoch, starting here, you've got the mixed frequency, and then going into the next epoch, it stays mixed up until here, or maybe even there. So we'll call this one 1, then back to wake, up until there, it drops off around there into sleep again. And then wake, and wake. Yeah, again, all of this is high frequency alpha. Maybe it drops off around here towards the end of the epoch. Wake good, wake good, wake good. So we got this one is awake, you got it correct, but there is a tiny bit of sleep going on right at the beginning of this one. And then we're back on track with 1. I think this is an arousal here. 1, and then wake. And then another mini little arousal in the middle of this one, and then another one towards the end. So this would be 1 with those 2 arousals. And then 1 again with 1 big arousal. And then 1 again. And then an arousal here. And then this would be 1, not 2. I'll change that. Another arousal here. And this would be this would be 2 actually. The majority of the epoch is over here. And all that's stage 2 with the K complexes. And this would be 1. Another arousal there. And a K complex here, so we can mark this as 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. Good arousal there for 2. Good arousal there for 2, 2, 2. Good job not marking that one. Looks like it's, just happening. A little bit of messiness just going on up at the top 3, 4 brainwaves. F3, F4, C3, C4. But I don't think that's an arousal. 1, 2. And then you called an arousal here, but kept it in 2, where a majority of this epoch is stage 1 now, because we've broken it up with this arousal. So that is 13.5 seconds of stage 1, and only 7.5 epochs of stage 2. That's just should be an easier one to mark than 2. This arousal goes all the way out, and you called it wake. So good. Dropped it back to 1. I don't think this is 1. I think this is wake. This is all still high frequency. Wake, and then this would be 1. You got alpha there. You got alpha there. You got alpha there. What the heck? You got alpha there. You got alpha there. So the only sleep is in this tiny section and in this tiny section. So I think that we're going to keep this one in wake. Change it to wake. Same here. A little bit of sleep here, but that's it. So all of this is alpha, and all of this is alpha. Wake. Last one, wake. And still wake. You only have a little bit of sleep there, and maybe a little bit there. The rest is all wake. And then definitely all of this from here to here is alpha. So that's going to be wake, 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 and wake again, wake. There's a little bit of sleep at the beginning, but the majority is wake, so we'll just change that to wake. And change this to wake, change this to wake, and change that to wake. Little bathroom run here. You've got all of this as wake, which is fascinating to me. You know, some of these epics you called stage one when it looked exactly like this. So you're doing it correctly on some parts of the study. It's just some parts not. Okay, we're getting into some. Okay, yeah. So you called this one wake. You're right. Well, might be right. Yeah, you've got a little bit of sleep here, but it's not much. A little bit of sleep at the end, but not much. And then wake, 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 wake. Good. And this one I would call stage one, with an arousal. This is all mixed frequency at the beginning. And it cuts back here. So we'll call that one. And then we'll call this one one as well. With an arousal there. One. And then another arousal here. This one would be one. And back to wake. And this would be one, which you have as wake. It just drops off into some frequencies here. Definitely by here, it's mixed frequency all throughout the rest. So we'll call this one one. A little arousal there. A little arousal there. This would be wake, 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 wake. And then back to one here with an arousal at the end. If we just scoot back a little bit, you can see it kind of drops off right here into stage one, all the way out until here. And then this would be 1 as well. From that arousal, you could extend it to about there. And this would be 1. This would be 1 as well. Then we're in 2. And then wake again. Good. Then 1 again. Good. And then 2. Good. So it seems like once the patient falls asleep, you seem to be doing good. Here's another example of how an arousal can take someone out of the sleep stage. You've got this arousal, and then all of this is stage 1. You have some stage 2 at the beginning, but a majority of this epic is stage 1. So we'll change this to 1. And you got the same situation happening here. So this would be 1. This is all stage 1. And then to 3. Okay, nope, this would be 2. You got spindle, K complex, spindle, a little arousal here. And then, okay, so 2 doesn't start until about here, which is that spindle from this arousal. So this one I'll change to 1, and then 2, 2, 2, and then 1. Good. So you did it right here. You had an arousal. However, I think actually this is a K complex, so this would be this one would actually be stage 2 because the majority of this epic is now stage 2. 2, 2, 2, 3. Okay, good. Good start of 3 there, and then an arousal, and then 1, good, and 2, and then back to 3. Nice. Down to 1. Back to 3. And then after this arousal here, the first spindle is here. So this one would actually be stage 1. And then to the little arousal here. Changing the, nope, okay, stage 2. I don't think those are, I don't think this is stage, no, this would be 3. I think you're right. But it does have a little arousal towards the end there. And then this would be wake, not REM. This is all alpha. And yes, you can have alpha and REM, but if you have more than 15 seconds of alpha and REM, it's considered wake. Wake, wake, wake. This would be stage 1 until there. So we'll call this one 1. And then 1 again. The little arousal at the end of that one. And 1 again with another arousal at the end. Even an arousal here actually. And that's 10 seconds. So we'll keep it in 1. We'll keep this one in 1. We'll keep this one in 1. And then 2. 2, 2. Wake, wake, and then 1 here. This is all low amplitude mixed frequency in here. And then an arousal at the end. So let's go back to that. There we go. 1, and then wake, and wake, wake. and then a low to wake. This guy did not sleep very well. Oop, I missed something. Okay, wake, wake, wake. And then we have stage 1 here. A little arousal right there. We'll call this one 1, and back to wake. And then 1 with an arousal here. Here. And back to wake. And then 1, which you have. I would keep this one in. This could be a spindle. 2. We'll keep it in 2 like you have it. And wake, good. I'd call this one 1 with an arousal here. Another arousal here. So 1, and then 2. 2, and then 1, good. 2, then 1, good. And then I know there's a little bit of maybe some low amplitude mixed frequency in this little section, but I'm just going to call that whole arousal. And then 2, I think the arousal's there. Yeah, could be there. 1, good. 2, good. And you have this as wake. I think this is stage 1. You have 3.5 seconds plus 12.5 seconds. Enough for stage 1. And then 2, and then 1, back to 1, and then 1, and 2 with the K complex there, and then 1 because the K complex here. It's not till after the 15-second mark. So 1, and then 2, 2, 2, 2. And then K complex here, so this would stay in 2, 2, 2, 2. And yeah, 2, little arousal here, changing this to 1, and then 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 3, little arousal here to 1, to 2, to 2, 2. Changed those from 3. There's just not enough delta waves in them. 1, 1, 2. Little arousal there. Call this one 2 still. Actually, a little eye movement there. We'll keep it in 2 because that means REM starts here. So 2, and then eye movements here. So we'll call this REM, and then wake. And then REM again, I'm guessing. Nope, nope, nope. We'll go 1, and then 2, and arousal, and then 1, and then eye movements. So let's go backwards to the last chin tone, or K complex, which is over here. So we'll call this one REM. REM, REM, Oops. What is happening? There we go. Rem, 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 good arousal, rem, rem. Let me increase the chin a little bit here. Looks like there is a slight increase in chin tone for 1 second right there. I'm going to call that arousal. And then definitely an arousal here with this chin tone. That's at least 1 second. We'll call that arousal. Rem, rem. Same here, chin tone and alpha. Rem, rem. Same there, a little bit of chin tone, rem, rem. Chin tone again here. Rem, rem. And just cutting it close. Leave it. And we've got enough chin tone on this one to mark an arousal. Rem, rem. Again, enough chin tone here to mark this arousal. Rem, rem. Again, so you were overscoring arousals in REM, and now it looks like maybe you're underscoring arousals in REM. Oops. One, which you had, two, good. One. I'd call this one one, or actually, sorry, two with an arousal. Majority of this epic is two, but. And then two, two, and then one, and then two. Good. Two, 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 two. The arousals actually from there to there. This would make this, okay, stage one actually. And then two, 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 two. Oops. I think you might have been right here. Three, 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 three. One, one, two, good. And the lights on. Okay, so you have lights on, but you didn't mark your button for the lights on here. Don't forget your lights on button. Okay, let's take a look at the breathing on this fellow. Let's get back to the beginning. Okay, missed a bit. And decrease this a little bit. So far, so good. I think we got a little hypopnea there. Okay. Nothing going on there. Good hypopnea there. Probably mark another one here. Oop. I don't think this is a hypopnea here. This is just artifact. See how it's the amplitude doesn't really change. It's literally just a swoop in there, just a little swoop. I don't know if that makes sense or not. So not a whole lot going on with the breathing. Just kind of skipping around. Okay, so I'd mark this one as a hypopnea there. You've got 1, 2 breaths after this arousal. That's good enough for me. Same there, and then same there. That's enough of a difference in 30% at least, you know. Now, and it looks like we've got a hypopnea there. Maybe a hypopnea here. It's kind of tricky. Maybe this is baseline right here, the can flow. And then again, right about here to here. And then again from there to there, and there to there. Good enough for hypopneas for me. Okay. Here we go. Here's some good hypopneas there. Well marked. Let's take a look at this one. I don't know. I don't think that one's a hypopnea. Kind of, if you compare this breathing to any other breathing, this looks like it just returned to baseline. Maybe this one breath right here is a little bit lower. But if you draw your line here, it's all very similar. That just looks like baseline breathing. Whereas if you have this line, you can see where your hypopneas are well marked. Okay, I think this one here is a hypopnea. Okay, and then more of this wake stuff we have. Good hypopneas there. Could almost even, I think you can mark this one here as well. If you take a look, you got, or it'd be here to here. Those two breaths are pretty reduced. And good hypopneas there. And let's see. Looks like you could almost mark some hypopneas in here as well. You got one there, got one there. Nothing quite long enough for here. This one you could mark as a hypopnea. Oh, it's just barely not long enough still. Okay. Okay, and then hypopnea here and here and even here, back here with that arousal. And then this one here as well. Okay, this one seems to be very obvious and not entirely sure what got missed on that one there, but it's definitely there. I think maybe it would have been helpful. Uh, well, maybe. Looks like the can flow is a little fuzzy. Might have been useful to go in and check it, but okay, I'd mark this one as an obstructive. Seeing the T flow right here, you have an obstructive apnea going on, kind of like you did for this one and this one. And this one, this one, this one, this one. You marked these super well, obstructive apneas. So good job, really good job there. You've got your hypopneas, you got your obstructives. If this is about 10 seconds, you could probably mark that as an obstructive as well. And then I think here I would mark a hypopnea there and an obstructive here, and then the obstructive from there to there. You can have one little blip, I think, and have it be fine being obstructive. And then same with this one, got a little obstructive right there. Good hypopnea. This one is actually central. Seeing the belts there's no movement in the belts. And same here, little central apnea there. And hypopnea, hypopnea, hypopnea. Good. And this is really hard to see for me. I don't think there's anything there. I can't even see what's going on. I think that's again, the can flow is just a little fuzzy to tell. And that is that. So good job on this study. You did a lot better than you think. There's a lot of stage one marked that should have been wake, and then vice versa. A little bit of REM marked when it should have been wake as well. Um, when you saw that, what you can do is, when you actually see REM, you can go back and to your previously marked REM in the different cycle. Just double check that it looks similar, um, and that can help you cross-reference between the two cycles of REM just to see um, if you're having issues with the study. Uh, so, but other than that, solid work. We're at almost exactly an hour here, so I'll go ahead and finish this one up.